Oh my God, I have to build it. I can't stop myself. I feel compelled.
Today on Mark Cuban Presents, we're talking with Arlo Gilbert. He's founded and sold a number of companies, and we'll be talking with him about his latest successful startup and how he approaches finding investors.
My name is Arlo Gilbert. Until last week, I was the CEO and co-founder of metaSaaS. Our company was acquired last week by a larger company called Flexera. Startup is a great equalizer. It's one of the only places where you can start with almost nothing but your computer and your brain and build something amazing. When I first started my first company, I didn't know anybody. I was a college kid, and all I knew was that I had a book on how to program. I think software, the thing that's so attractive about it is you can build something out of nothing.
Arlo's latest software startup was aiming to fix a problem he was running into at his past companies. With cloud-based software becoming the norm in enterprise settings, how are companies supposed to keep track of licensing, cost, and access?
So, the idea is basically that companies have a lot of software and it's not managed. And so they don't know what they have. They don't know who has access to it. They don't know how much they're spending. It's really surprising what a mess it is. And it just turns out that, really big companies all across the world have this problem and they're willing to pay a lot of money for it. I opened up my browser and a couple of coding tools and started building just a static HTML demo that I could show to investors. I never have raised money before for any of my companies. I bootstrapped my first one, I self-funded my second one, and so my network was not, I didn't have a big network of investors who had invested in me before. So I really was starting like a lot of young entrepreneurs just from scratch.
Even though Arlo had never tried to sell an idea to investors, he realized that he could essentially go about it in the same way that he had sold his software at his previous companies, and that started by casting as wide a net as possible.
I just used a CRM. I treated it like a sales process. And I started out with a gigantic list of prospects, and then I whittled that list of prospects down based on whether they were interested. If they aren't interested, then move on, right? I mean, you want people to invest who are passionate about what you've built and who are excited about you as a person. It's all about just being polite, being respectful, being efficient, and quite honestly, never dropping an email. I've seen so many entrepreneurs who they forget to reply to somebody, or they drop the ball, or they aren't courteous in their emails, and it damages their ability to raise capital. I'm a really big fan of Mix-Max. It gives me intelligence into who's opening my emails and where and how frequently, and you would be so surprised to find out sometimes that your email has been passed around 40 different times around the world, even though the person didn't reply. And so now you can call them, you can reach out. And so having that email intelligence was really critical to raising capital and to selling the product and to selling the company.
It may seem counterintuitive, but one of the keys to creating successful companies for Arlo has been not shying away from industries that he doesn't really know anything about. Over his 15-year career as a serial entrepreneur, he's found that jumping into an unfamiliar industry with an outsider solution can produce great results.
Every business I've gone into, I didn't know anything about it when I started. You spend a lot of time looking at the market and thinking, nobody else is building this, why not, right? If it's such a good idea, somebody else would be doing it. The people that tend to be the big innovators and have the big successes actually don't come from within the industry. Sometimes that fresh set of eyes, that new perspective on the way things are, is exactly what a business or an industry or a category needs. And so, yes, you got to go do some research to make sure you're not totally crazy, but don't spend so much time doing research that you forget to start the company.
If you don't have that fire, if you don't have that thirst to learn and that desire to compete, then you're not going to be successful.
That's all for this episode. Thanks for watching. And if you have any questions or suggestions, just let us know in the comments.